That was the clap.
That was the clap.
That's my favorite part of the episode is the clap.
You said you weren't going to learn any of this production stuff, and I really wish you didn't.
Yeah, now I know what a fucking AIFF file is. I don't know why. Never, when you want to be a comedian when you're growing up, you're never like, I can't wait to entertain the masses.
Right.
And also learn all about MP4 files.
Jerry Seinfeld wasn't in his room in Long Island being like, I wonder what kind of SM58 microphone I'm going to be speaking into one day. It's completely irrelevant to what he did.
Did you watch his Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Eddie Murphy?
I did. Yeah.
Did you? My favorite part of it was when they were like, can you believe 40 years ago we were on the same show in a Chinese restaurant? And he made it sound like
New York
it was
City
like
40 years ago was only Chinese restaurant.
It was exclusively.
That's the fucking only thing they had. Yeah, that's where everyone hung out.
It was Chinese restaurants and delis. Those were the only two buildings.
You either got pastrami on rye or General Chow's. Those are the only two things we were allowed to eat.
I'll tell you one thing: people weren't happy.
That's why everyone was fucking rioting in the streets. I saw Mulaney in.
Recently?
Yeah, with Joe Mandy.
Really?
I thought about going up to him and showing him.
Was this during
showing him both my balls? But
was this during the quarantine?
it was right before quarantine. It was like March, like beginning of March. I was like, "Hey, you're both two of my heroes. Do you want to see my sack?" I thought that would impress him.
I could just see Mulaney being like, "Wow, that's a sack.
Good sack. Do you want to be on a show?"
Do you want to be my understudy? And here's the thing: the worst Broadway show ever. Did you see it?
Here's the thing.
Not here's the thing. That's my thing.
That's your thing. Yeah, yeah.
They were Oh Hello.
Oh Hello. The Broadway show is bad?
Oh yeah, it was real bad.
I saw the one on Netflix, but I assumed it was bad because it didn't translate to that form. You know what I mean?
No, it was bad because of the writing. It was mostly the writing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then their guests, they have a guest on every episode.
Right.
And mine was America Ferrera, which she was Ugly Betty.
Who was that?
She was Ugly Betty. And she was also in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
That doesn't help me. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Ugly Betty. I'm not the demo.
You're not the demo for America Ferrera.
They don't want bald, greasy Italian guys watching those shows.
Yeah.
Who have swimmers' bodies.
Yeah, you have a diver's body.
Definitely a swimmer's bod. We've gone over this a time or two.
Also, with the quick introduction here, this is Tom Luciano
Ew.
on the mic. Real bald, real hairy, real Mediterranean.
And if you're a hero of mine, I will show you my sack.
That's right. And I would assume also very furry.
Oh, man, it's a rat's nest.
Are there times where you walk around your apartment after a shower and you think you see a rat, so you hit it?
And it's my own asshole.
And it's your own asshole.
That's it, exactly.
Has that happened before?
Yeah. I called my landlord. I was like, there's rats in here. You got to put down some traps. And I woke up in the middle of the night.
And I've been to your apartment, and let me tell you something. I don't think anyone you would say that to understands what you're saying. You're the only white guy in the whole apartment.
Oh, my God. There's the only people in there are me and 17 Chinese families.
And they all live in one apartment. It's
Exactly.
a 2 apartment.
Yes. They each get a cupboard in the other building, another room that's in the apartment. It's really nice. It's quaint.
How's, because you live Lower East Side.
Yeah.
How's that been during this? What's your homeless situation? Because mine's bad.
Homeless situation?
Yeah, what's your homeless situation like?
I mean, they're feistier.
The homeless are feisty.
They're feistier. They're a little bit angry. They're a little bit on edge. But I mean, it's like Mardi Gras on my street right there. It's like going on.
Because you can just drink wherever you want now.
It's bougie. It's bougie, and it's hot people, and it's people with a lot of nipple rings. And hair stuff, like things in the hair, red hair, purple hair. I have no hair, so
right. You can't do that. You should just
sitting there salivating.
You should just dye your skin red. You should dye the top of your head rare.
You mean tattoo? Rare.
Rare. I meant red.
Medium rare. Hi, can I get my hair medium rare, please? Yeah. I mean, that's a tattoo. I'm pretty sure. If I just made my head red, that's a.
Could you just do? I thought you could like bald it. You could dye it like a like an Easter egg. It's just you put vinegar and one of those blue pellets,
sure.
and then you just dunk your head in.
Right, and I smack my head into another guy's bald redhead and we say Christos Anesti. That's a Greek.
That's great. That's a Greek
Easter joke.
Yeah, we
That's
don't have
for
many
nobody.
Greeks listening to this.
That's for 0 people.
Yeah, I understood that, and my mom will be like, "Oh, that's fun," and then that's about it.
Christos Anesti.
Christos
It's a
Anesti.
Greek tradition of breaking eggs and being too hairy.
I just went to a Greek graduation party this past weekend. A lot of yelling, a lot of fake gold chains, a lot of baklava.
Oh, the baklava makes up for it all.
Oh yeah, baby! I
all
don't care. They were yelling nonsense, and I was like, "Listen, I hear you. All right, COVID's COVID's
you
political."
Ask when you get the baklava, you say pure honey.
Oh, it was pure honey.
It's
I could
pure
tell.
honey. It's just soaked in honey, Rich.
Where again the honey?
Where is
Tom?
everyone getting? Honey's expensive. Oh, it's decadent. It's all over you. You wear it for like a week after you eat baklava. It's just like all over your face and your neck. It's beautiful.
Is that why Greek guys wear wife beaters? Is because they don't have any sleeves to wipe the honey off when they eat baklava?
Yeah, the baklava, they start out like long sleeved button down shirts.
And as the meal progresses, then the tzatziki comes out and they're like, "Oh, well, we got to take this shirt off, regular shirt."
The baklava gets on the shirt and that sticks to the wall and that rips off the shirt. And then by the end of the week, it's just a perfect wife beater.
That's why all Greek houses are traditionally made out of clay, because they can't have any wallpaper up because the honey from the baklava will rip it off.
That's a thing that people know. That everyone knows that Greek houses are made out of clay.
Are they not made out of clay? I assume anything.
Clay?
Yeah. When you look at all those pictures from Sardinia, or
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they don't look made out of stone.
Yeah, no, it's probably more like a spackle, like something like that. I don't know.
They don't have spackle back then.
I haven't been there. I'm not Greek.
Listen, you look like it. You're
look-
not Greek, but I'll tell you something. You're a cigarette away from saying "opa."
Opa! A lot of people ask me on the street if I'm related to John Stamos, and I say that's my mom.
John Stamos does look like a very attractive trans man.
Oh, what a gorgeous man.
Gorgeous man, straw jawline to the point that you're like you've supplemented with testosterone.
But strong jawline, but also delicate, soft features.
Soft, delicate, good eyes.
Good eyes, strong hair,
Great dick.
huge sack,
I would assume.
floppy sack.
Out of all three on
It's all like
Full House, I would assume he best.
Which of these guys has the floppiest sack and will definitely sell yogurt one day? Bob Saget.
I like how Dan and they sat around the room and they said, "All right, we have a new Greek yogurt. Who can we have as a spokesman?" And they just went around the room. One person came up, John Stamos.
They're like, who's the greasiest guy we know?
And they were John Travolta in the movie Grease. And they were like, not real.
Not a real guy.
We can't have him. Doesn't exist.
Who else did they want? They wanted, I'm trying to think of famous Greek, famous Italian. The Fonz. He's kind of like the Fonz.
Yeah, but in real life, Jew.
Oh, yeah.
Can't have
Fonz,
him.
You can't have that.
Yeah.
Anywhere, for the record.
That might be the most progressive thing that ever happened in the 70s. Was a Jew playing an Italian.
The Fonz being Jewish.
No one talks
progressive.
about back then. That's like, wow.
Yeah, he came in with like,
Look,
"Hi, I'm the Fonz." They're like, "Cut it out." He's like, "How about this? Hey, how about this, sir? You got it."
because we all know Italians ride motorcycles.
Hey, anybody got the gefilte fish? It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work if he's like all Jewish. The Fonz, like all of his details. He has like the Italian stuff. Hey, anyone going to my cousin's bar mitzvah?
He sits down for the Seder and he goes, "Stop passing around this shit. I can't read."
Do you read this shit from right to left or left to right? I don't know. Hey, fuck this. Somebody pass me a dreidel.
He's trying to put sauce on the matzah, but it's just not working out.
Sauce?
They're like, "Fine, you can't
Sauce on the
you can't
matzah.
put tomato sauce on the matzah." He goes, "My mother made the sauce. I'll put it on anything."
Everyone's so confused. It's like, are you Italian or Jewish? Make up your mind.
He's like this greaseball Italian, and they're in Wisconsin. He's like, "I got to go to Bensonhurst to study these people."
Right. He was like the minority on the show, being like the Italian guy in Wisconsin.
That was the 70s sitcom. We need someone ethnic.
Look at this
Grab
guy.
an Italian.
This guy who's been here for one generation, who slicks his hair back and doesn't wear button-down shirts. Like, that's diversity. He only wears a T-shirt and a leather jacket. He's a bad boy.
When it seems like everyone back then wore a leather jacket. I don't understand.
Can I give you a hot take on leather jackets?
I'm ready for this.
I've thought about this a lot, and I've had a lot of time to think in the last.
This is what you came out of these 6 months.
This is the best. I'm really setting this up big, and you're gonna be disappointed. I'll tell you. Leather jackets, you're either getting, as a guy, if you're wearing a leather jacket, getting a ton of puss or none at all. There's no in between. Like, you're either
who are the type of guys that wear a leather jacket?
like a guy who knows his worth, like who's like a 10. Like a guy who's like a 9 or 10 knows that he's 9 or 10 wears leather jacket.
Okay.
Like he's like on point with his like fashion game.
Yes.
It's like his thing.
Yes.
Fashion forward guy. The other guy who wears leather jacket is a guy who is on his last dime, who's like I need this. I need the leather jacket to improve the rest of my life, and he thinks it's going to pull him up. You're not on board with this.
I don't know, because I don't know anyone that's been in such a low part of their life that said, you know what, I need to really turn this ship around. Dead cow skin.
Dead cat. When you put it that way, it makes it sound like it's a Native American leather jacket.
That would be great if the Fonz wears leather, because he's like, I killed a cow and you got to use every part.
Got to use every part. Yeah, I'm very in touch with the Iroquois people.
He steps out of his muscle car and puts his ear to the ground, and he's like, the bison that way. Oh!
Is that that's the comedian? That's Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, I combined the Fonz with Andrew Dice Clay.
The Fonz and Andrew Dice Clay are very similar characters.
Yeah, just Fonz. Did Fonz wear sunglasses?
Did he? I don't think he did.
Call us in. Call us and let us know.
All of the listeners at home who are live streaming this, who is no one because it's not set up to do that.
No.
I had a coworker, speaking of foul jokes today.
Oh, I love your coworker. Is this the same coworker that told you he's been writing stand-up and then showed it to you and it was just hate speech?
Similar kind of story. No, different. This is the lady. And if a guy said this, oh boy, he'd be, this is great.
I'm ready.
In this team call, my manager's doing this like around the horn, like fun time exercise thing. And one of the prompts is like, tell a joke. Like this is
that was a prompt.
This is how bad corporate America is you need prompts on how to be a human being. It's like you're gonna get 30 seconds to tell us about your kids. Like that's a thing.
Right.
It's so sad, and I don't have any kids. But anyway, she wants to tell this joke. She's like, it's really foul, and everyone's like, maybe save it to the end and let people like sign off. And we could choose to stay or not.
She was doing she prefaced the meeting. She's like, I'm also going to do a late night comedy set.
Yeah. She took out a mic. She asked for a $5 cover. But she tells us, she goes, okay, I'm going to tell the joke. And there's like 30 people on the call. And she goes, okay, so what did one tampon say to the other? And I work in a very stodgy corporate environment. And it's just silence on the call. And she goes, nothing. They were both stuck up two cunts. Like, gets the joke wrong. And she was like, no, two stuck up cunts. That's what I meant to say. And I was like, oh, that is so great. And it was just silence in the chat. And I wrote, ha, 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 ha. Like, gave her like 6 ha's, you know?
Was she like the highest ranking person?
No. This was like directors. Like, she was at the same level as me.
Oh, fuck.
But she's like a 37-year-old. Like this, she's kind of like the sassy lady on the team.
Yeah, you don't say. I don't think it's one of the small Asian women that were like, oh, I have to write a joke for this.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was the highlight of my day. Just hearing the silence on that call of everyone.
How many people on the call?
Like 30.
I fucking love that.
Oh, it's great.
Was there video on?
No video.
Fuck.
I know.
That would have been amazing.
I might have turned my video on and just shaking my tits in front of the camera or something in support. That's what I should have done.
Much like your uncle, who's dead.
That's right. My dead uncle who died from a gay-related disease.
Right, yeah.
Which is
Tom's uncle died from
bleeding from the nipples from a mesh tank top.
That's right.
Yeah.
His gay uncle died from bleeding from the nipples with the mesh tank top. We had to figure out a better word economy for that joke.
We've been talking about this for almost a year now.
Because that's an A+ joke with a D+ delivery.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, the idea is funny. The wording is not good.
Imagine just you're in the Florida Keys. It's just like an ambulance. You get to the Keys, there's an ambulance, and you're like, what's the problem here? They're like, we need a doctor. And a doctor runs over. He goes, what seems to be the problem? And they're like, this gay man is dying. And he goes, I've seen this 1,000,000 times. Mesh tank top to the nipples.
His nipples are just scattered all over the floor, just in pieces, just bleeding from the chest. Oh, it's so funny.
And every time he tries to wipe the blood off, he just goes, oh.
Ooh.
All right. But what was I going to say? What have you been doing during the quarantine?
What have I been doing?
Because so it started off, you went home.
Went home.
And tell the people where you're from.
Westchester.
A half Greek, half Italian from Westchester.
Yeah.
You're a little too far north for your people, but it's fine.
We escaped. That's what
You escaped?
All of my family's in Staten Island and New Jersey. And I like to say we made it north of the border. Like when we were crossing the border, I was like, "Are we crossing the border?" That kind of thing. But
your whole family went back.
That was supposed to be an Italian accent.
Yeah, that thing
came out as Mexican.
Very Mexican.
Which is a very different flair to it. But anyway.
Right, a little spicier.
Yeah, I was up in Westchester.
And then it started off, you camped outside your house.
I did. I didn't want to give my parents the COVID, so I camped outside for a bit.
For how long?
Just like 2 nights.
That's ridiculous.
But I ended up having COVID, like during that time, for sure.
Oh, for fact.
Yeah.
You did? You got antibodies?
I had the COVID toes. I had like the big bulbous fucking. That's like one of the number one.
So that's because you don't wear good shoes.
I don't wear good shoes.
And that's why you have a bulbous toes, because you don't have good shoes,
Right.
and you're a Mediterranean fuck.
Yes, my body is not acclimated to the winter weather, and I'm always wearing the Birkenstocks because I'm a hippie piece of shit.
Your body's used to walking on seashells on beautiful beaches. It is not used to wearing Converse and Birkenstocks.
My ancestors were just walking on the shelves and saying, "We'll never need to be in Westchester. We'll never be in the
That's what the ancient Greeks.
Yeah, we'll never need to be in the woods, Prometheus."
So you camped outside because you were like, this is better than going. Yeah. So first of all, can we go to how you got COVID? Because this is the most wild stories
How did
ever.
How did I get COVID? Remind me.
The Asian girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you forgot?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely how I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just realized now?
Yeah.
Tell this story. Tom, tell the story.
This was like January? This had to be like January.
I think it happened like right when everything was shutting down. It had to happen mid-February.
I was seeing this gal.
Because Trump closed the borders in February.
Right. A night. Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it had to be after that.
Nice gal. PhD student.
Potential.
She was applying. I'm sure she's great. Anyway, that's not the point.
Yeah.
She went to Taiwan.
Right. Why?
In the middle of, because her grandfather died.
Right. That's a very important factor in this story.
Yeah.
She didn't just go there, because then she went to her grandfather's funeral. And Tom, tell the people what she did.
She had to eat the dust of the bones.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
I'm shocked I don't remember this.
She had to pick up the dust, and then she actually had to take a bone and put it into the crypt.
That's right.
How do you not remember this? This is the only thing I've been thinking about for 6 months.
That's right. Yeah, she had to take coronavirus bones and put them in the crypt. And that's what really won me over at that point. I was like, this girl is really family oriented, and she will fly all the way across the world to just move bones of her family.
Because you broke up with this girl end of January. Mm-hmm. And then like a week later, we were getting dinner, and you said, all right, I have to wrap this up. I'm banging that Asian girl again. And I had to rush my rotisserie chicken meal, which I very much enjoy. It's a great place.
The rotisserie chicken meal.
The place by on Rivington.
Right. The Dominican place.
The Dominican place.
That's why we haven't gotten COVID, because of the mofongo.
That's right. Dominicans don't get COVID.
That's why none of the Major League Baseball players have gotten it, which is not true.
I think it's because they butter their bread so much that my stomach lining's been impervious.
All the butter shields you from
they put too much butter on the bread.
It's
at
delicious.
That place. It's delicious, but it's just simply too much.
It's really a gross place. But.
So it's an incredibly gross place, but she's very quick, and she calls you Poppy. She doesn't call me Poppy. And
I like
it hurts
that she
my
calls
feelings.
me Poppy.
She does call you Poppy, and
I wish more people called me Poppy. That's for everyone who's watching this or listening to this. If you find me, if you run into me, just call me Poppy.
Yeah, you're more of a no in like 40 years.
A no-no?
Yes, that's a no. What's Italian grandpa?
Nona. No,
That's grandma.
not no-no? I know what you're trying to say.
It's
I don't know
Is it not no?
I don't think it's no-no. I don't think the way that you're saying it
All
is
right,
right at
call
all.
us in.
Someone fix this.
But it's what it is. We'll fix it in post. Anyway, we're not going to fix it.
Don't fix it.
So you went back, banged her, and I had to rush my meal, which was very dry chicken. It was a little too dry.
Sometimes
I think they
they're all
left
over
it
the
on
place.
a little
They're
bit.
all over the place with that
Right.
chicken.
And you left, and I didn't see you for a little bit after that. I didn't see you for about a week, and usually I see you every day.
Yeah.
I didn't see you for about a week.
Right.
And then you sat me down for another dinner over another very dry chicken, different place. You just really like dry chicken.
We're just gallivanting all over the city, just going to the worst chicken
Going
spots.
to the worst chicken spot.
Just taking you to all the worst chicken spots in the city.
And that's when you're like, oh, listen to what this girl's been doing.
Yeah.
And I thought you were going to be like, she's still been riding the subway without gloves. I was going to be like, wow, that's crazy, Tom.
Yeah, she's moving bones by hand in Taiwan.
In Taiwan.
Yeah. She didn't wear a mask on the plane or anything. This was like January.
I think it was after that. I think it was sometime in February. Because I remember Trump closed the borders, and then she somehow got out of the country.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, where's she going? Like Germany, the UK.
Yeah.
No, she's got a booked appointment, moving her dead grandfather's bones into a Buddhist temple. And I said, I'm out of this story.
And she was like, it was kind of traumatizing. And I was like, yeah, I would imagine. Moving the bones of a relative. Oh my God. Yeah, it was. And they didn't tell her. Apparently, they were just like, "We're gonna go to the temple today," and she's like, "Well, okay, cool."
I think if you're at this point in your life where she was 24, 25, Buddhist her whole life, when you find out your grandfather dies, you're like, all right, I have to get onto the plane. I got to rent a car. I got to move his bones into the temple. I got to drop the car.
List.
Like for her, the biggest problem was I got to drop this fucking rental car off somewhere.
Hertz is way less forgiving than the Buddhist bone gods.
Right, the Buddhists are a little more lenient.
It's like, oh, they're checking your phone for the Hertz like notification to pop up. And like, I got to move this bone.
And then how'd you end up breaking up with her? Like official. Was this over a text?
No,
it was over. Was it a phone call?
It was a phone call. It was bad.
Oh, so you're an adult. You did a phone call.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was probably the most awkward breakup. She's probably hearing this, and I hope wherever you are, you're doing fine.
I don't care.
Rich doesn't care.
I just want it to be on the record. I don't care how you're doing, but get tested because you definitely had COVID.
And for maybe a couple other reasons that may or may not have to do with me. Don't worry about it.
Right, that's what it is. But then now you're back on the dating game. You're back on the dating scene. Tom, I'm so interested in this because I know girls who are still going on like video dates, first dates.
No, I didn't do one video date.
Is that not the saddest thing in the world?
I did do one video date, and that's when I thought I got catfished when I was...
Oh, that's right. That's a wild story.
And
she just ended up being a good person.
She just ended up being a fantastic lady, and I ruined it.
Yeah, that's a good story. We would say it on here, but it truly was like this woman's...
I thought I was getting catfished.
Her resume was too good.
She looked too good in these photos, right?
She had a good job.
She had a good job, and I was sending... She looked slightly different in each of the photos was the thing. And I sent them to you, and I had you cross-reference them. Do a reverse image search.
Yeah, and I couldn't come up with anything.
It was like an investigation.
Yeah,
you couldn't find anything. And then I was just, all right, well, we're going to move this to different... I was trying to move her to different platforms, shake her.
Right.
Shake the trail, you know what I mean? Got her Instagram. All the pictures still look just like...
Still looked like her.
But she's still got friends, like a lot of friends. So I'm like, she's got to be a real person. And at some point, I'm like, all right, let's just do a video call right now. And we do an Instagram call, and she's like this gorgeous, cool girl. We end up talking for like an hour and a half. And right before I get off, I take a screenshot on Instagram.
Does it say?
Yeah.
Oh, it says?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah! I didn't know it says.
It says. I didn't know either.
Well, now you do.
I know now. And she was like, did you just take a screenshot of my face?
That's why. I've been wondering why you haven't talked about her anymore.
Yep. And I was like, well, I did. Let me say that first. I did take a picture of your face. And it was only because I told my friends that I was being catfished by you because all your pictures look different. And she thought that was obviously weird, Rich. So she was weird. She smoked 2 joints on this call.
2 joints during the date video chat.
Like 2 like small little, like she was just kind of like picking up like fucking
roaches.
Yeah. And she had probably like 3 or 4 glasses of wine.
During the video chat?
During the video chat. Over like an hour and a half.
If I know Tom Luciano like I know him, that's a turnoff.
Too much drinking.
Too much drinking?
She's getting pretty sloppy.
Big turnoff. You could be into sorcery and Reiki healing, which are 2 things Tom's dated girls who've done.
Oh, my God.
Those were fine.
Yeah.
But smoking a joint during the video call? Nope.
2 of them. She was sloppy by the end of it. It was a good time. She was a nice gal. Also, if she's listening, not too late. And I'm sorry about taking a picture of your face.
And if you're listening, like and subscribe to the Happy Hour. But then you had another girl. Was this the girl that you walked? You walked and talked? Would you walked and talked on the video call?
The biggest hippie chick we haven't talked about.
Oh, this is news to me. Breaking news.
Rich loves the hippie chicks.
I love this because Tom is such a smart business guy, and he dates the dumbest fucking idiots.
This is the dumbest of. She's the dumbest of them all. This gal. She was.
Your kids have no future because you're so smart, but they're so stupid, and they're gonna come out just fucking and go into SUNY New Paltz. Your kids are SUNY New Paltz kids.
They're gonna major in benches or something, making benches.
Benches.
Like how to tie nuts and bolts together or something. Tie nuts and bolts? That doesn't make any sense. This girl's from Brazil. She was a Brazilian masseuse.
I love it.
Brazilian masseuse who lived in Mount Vernon.
Wow. So she's not doing well.
No. When I was up in Westchester, she was in Mount Vernon, and we'd go back and forth.
To her house, your place?
Yeah, it didn't last long. It was like 2 dates, 3 dates.
Okay. I'm going to need more information about this. Because you were at your parents' house.
Right. But she lived alone.
But she lived alone. Did she come to your place?
No.
Okay, so you said we would go back and forth, but really you just went back.
I wouldn't go all the way to Mount Vernon. She'd come up to further north in Westchester. That's what I meant.
They allow Brazilians in Westchester?
No, they don't. They hit them with pipes.
Right.
Yeah.
I would assume they were like, you're too close to Spanish for us.
Yeah, the closer you get to Greenwich, the tougher it is to get Brazilians. Brazilians upstate.
So she's just a masseuse.
She doesn't
have anything
Reiki,
weird?
No, she does like
this is it.
Reiki healing, stone consultations, which I don't even know if that's what you call
a stone consultation.
She does like the energy crystals. She like knows how to advise on all of the energy crystals and stuff. Oh,
I thought you just
numerology. This is one that you
numerology, the study of numbers,
the study of numbers, just math. That's what she told me. Numerology. I was like, you mean math? Numerology is a thing, and I was like, what the fuck?
So what does she do with the numerology? Like
she
your
has
birthday?
Clients who are like the way that you have like someone has a therapist or like a doctor.
And they go to numbers.
Yeah, and she's like, well, your birthday's on the 12th. That means you're gay. Like, clearly. She was so dumb. She was.
I can't get over the stone consultation. You just called her over your place, and you'd be like, and she'd be like, igneous. And you're like, all right, thank you.
She's like, I'm getting more of you're sedimentary limestone kind of guy. Not even the good kind of like energy crystals, just like the regular stones.
Yeah, she went into an earth science class and just took through crystals.
Yeah, you're granite kind of. You're Granite Greg. That's what I'm going to call you.
But you know what's funny is that in Brazil, that's a doctor. Like, it's not her fault.
No, it's true.
She's like, no, I'm licensed.
Yeah. Did I tell you that she came from, before she was in New York, she was in the, grew up in the Amazon. That's not true. But you'd think.
I assume.
No, she didn't really have an excuse. She's from whatever the biggest city, Rio?
Rio?
She's from Rio.
Well, yeah, because if you're not from Rio, there's nothing else but Rio, I feel like, in Brazil.
Yeah.
Is Rio the beach, and then it's a 90% forest.
Yeah, and smog and kids with knives. Most
They're
of the
really good with kids with knives.
Most of the population from Brazil is actually kids with box cutters, just running around trying to stab each other.
Do you think we could do a World Cup with the world's most dangerous kids?
Me and you, yeah, absolutely.
I think we should start this. We
The world's most
should
dangerous
start
kids.
trafficking children for this child World Cup.
You gotta say Africa, like somewhere like Sudan, gotta have some like child
Well, yeah.
soldiers.
Well, those kids, they know how to use a gun.
They're
a
trained.
little too far in advance. Those kids.
Do you think they'd be disqualified from? being
Yeah,
too-
it's like
they're adults.
this is kind of like the NCAA, where it's like you already signed a pro contract. You're 8 years old. You already fought in 2 wars.
Right.
We can't have you
Like
in the
you
World
can't go
Cup.
back to college after playing in the minors for a couple of years. Like,
Maybe we make it an Olympics instead of a World Cup,
I
so
like
they don't
this.
get paid.
yeah.
A child slavery
Like
Olympics.
If you are a child soldier and you've eaten the heart of your best friend who's 9, you can't compete in these games because you're too serious. Yeah.
Because all these countries that don't do well in the regular Olympics,
Yeah.
they would do amazing at the childhood,
Child violence.
the child violence Olympics. How many gold medals does Estonia have? I don't think many.
Not a lot.
In the child violence Olympics, all of them.
Oh.
Estonia would win.
You're telling me that Sudan. I mean, we said Sudan, Brazil. Like some kid in Brazil would destroy some kid from England.
The kid from England doesn't even qualify.
Kid from the worst part of England versus the worst part of India.
Oh, no fucking shot.
No way. I'm trying to think of terrible places.
But I feel like Indian kids don't use knives.
What do? They don't have anything.
I feel like they
like
tickle.
Yeah,
They just tickle you to get what they need. Russia would do well. Mongolia would do well.
Mongolia would do great. I mean, all those kids are just living off the land.
Right. We just throw them into a barren field.
Do they get a weapon? Do they get a...
Like, we could still play all the, like, childhood gym games, but just add in
knives?
third world.
Yeah.
Like, instead of steal the bacon, you just put a yak's head in the middle. And you're just like, all right.
Whoever's alive gets to eat the yak head.
Right. Kid from Estonia versus Sudan. Go. Figure it out.
I'm trying to think of other terrible places. I mean, even the worst parts in the worst parts of New York versus... No, it doesn't compare. Third world country kids.
Third world country kids are impressive.
Oh, gotta give them credit where credit's due.
Right. And they don't even believe in Reiki, those kids. But
They have 0 stones.
Who
that
was
could save
that
them.
girl, Tom, that you dated? Was in Sunset Park.
Yeah.
Ballerina.
Yeah.
What stupid shit was she into?
Well,
Because I met this girl.
she was polyamorous. That was her first thing.
Which was a deal breaker for you at the end.
Which was fine for me because I was like, okay, that just means we're continuing to not date, which I wasn't dating you anyway.
Right.
I was like, it's perfect.
You did bring her to a few shows.
Yeah, maybe a few, but what else was she into? She would talk to plants.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the weird thing she was into.
She wouldn't use the soap in my apartment.
Did she make her own soap and make her own toothpaste?
She didn't. She was like, she lived like a trash-free lifestyle. That was her thing.
She wanted a trash-free lifestyle and ended up being trash.
With the biggest, I thought you were going to call me the biggest piece of trash there is, which is true.
Nah, I think maybe that's why you date these girls. It's to hide how trash you are.
I am. Deep down, I'm like one generation removed from trash. Like
Right.
Staten Island firefighter.
Because on paper, let me tell you something. When people get your resume,
Yeah.
I hope you don't put your name on it. Because if I see your resume, your name's like Chadwick,
Yeah.
like Winningsworth the Third. And then I see your greaseball fucking name on there, Tom Luciano. I'm surprised you don't go by Tommy Luciano, you grease fuck.
Tommy never stuck.
Tommy never stuck?
I made sure it didn't stick.
Why?
Well,
Just felt like you grew out of it?
2 things. People wanted to call me Thomas the Tank Engine growing up. I put a fucking stop to that real quick, Rich. Just lay the hammer down on those
You're
kids.
like, I'm not an autistic train.
I'm not a train boy. Don't call me a train. Tommy never stuck because people are intimidated by me, Rich. That's why. People are terrified of.
Nah. Because
For
back
sure.
then you had hair too. You had curly
A
hair.
lot of hair.
Sup?
Golf. Sick. Tommy never stuck. Tommy, I mean, in baseball it did.
Did you try to make it stick?
Never. I never wanted to be a Tommy.
You never wanted to be a Tommy.
They
What
call
do your
me Tommy
parents
in
call you?
baseball. Thomas.
Ah, yeah, no, that's not good.
parents are
Yeah, your
very
parents are
formal.
boring.
They're
You got
boring.
boring fucking parents.
They do too well. They've evened out all of the edges. You know what I mean? My dad's like from Staten Island, but you'd think he's from fucking Greenwich. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
He's religious, but a doctor. Like it all doesn't make any
Doesn't
sense
add
to
up.
me.
He has no accent. Zero accent. Zero Staten Island accent.
He probably worked so hard to get rid of that accent.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. My
Because
mom,
your
too.
grandfather is former NYPD and FDNY.
And FDNY. That's right. Yeah.
Your grandfather also, when he retired from the police and fire department, he was the apple at Shea Stadium. People don't talk about that.
When people hit home runs, when the Mets hit home runs, he would pop out of the bottom.
Because he's just such a greaseball union fuck.
He'd love it. He would hit people with a baton as the apple. People were very confused.
And people loved it.
They loved it. It was part of the fun back then.
Right.
It was the 70s. Back when people were only eating in Chinese food restaurants and Jewish places.
Right.
And getting hit and beat by my grandfather with a baton. New York was fun back then. Not like now.
Not like now where I got to wear a mask inside.
Not in my America. People don't know that I'm joking.
Yeah,
I've been
I know.
doing that in Brooklyn a lot. That's been my favorite thing to do. Is like I was at a Brooklyn party the other weekend and I told a group of people about our president.
Our president? You call him our president?
Call him our president.
That's funny.
Party in Bushwick, and people were like, "Why are you here?" They didn't know I was joking.
Listen, because these Brooklyn comics are doing these shows now, these shows and mics.
Yeah.
And I saw a guy, he was wearing a face shield,
No.
gloves.
No.
And he's like, I'm wearing this so that the mic doesn't infect me. But the mic was underneath
Yeah. Stupid.
the thing. But he was like, why aren't you guys doing this?
Why aren't you guys doing this? Most comedians are I'd say most of the stupidest people in my life that I've ever met are comedians.
No, it's the girls you've dated.
The girls
And
I've
then-
dated and yeah.
And then comedians.
And then comedians. You know who I saw today on the street? Jess Clayton. Ran into her.
Oh, big fan.
Big fan, Jess.
She doesn't live by you.
I scared her a little bit. Yeah, she was going to Tobin's show. I ran by her.
Oh,
on the
that's nice.
I ran by her on the street. That's one of my favorite things to do in the city is run into people, scare them. Big scare guy.
That's good. That's a good thing for a straight white guy to do right now is to go in back of women and scare them.
Yeah. Jump out and be like, "Where's my dinner?" That kind of stuff. But I had a big run before the coronavirus of scaring friends in the East Village, Lower East Side, just jumping out from behind cars and stuff. I see people from far away. I get them coming, jump out, knock a book out of their hand in the park. Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
good
and you're
fun.
successful, and you're a successful person.
Yeah, this is where my life is. I got nothing. I got nothing going on. I can kill 5 or 10 minutes just by stalking one of my friends on the street. It's fun.
6 minutes ago, 6 years ago, you had a serious girlfriend,
Oh yeah.
contemplated marriage,
Oh yeah.
had these stupid fucking glasses on your face. God, those glasses were stupid.
The black ones or
yeah,
the
the thick ones.
thick black ones.
Yeah. God, were they stupid. And if I were...
Where were you 6 years ago, Rich?
Where was I 6 years ago?
Yeah.
What 6 years ago? 2014. I was starting my senior year in college.
Oh, that's great.
If I were to tell Tom Luciano in 2014, hey, in 2020, you're going to be scaring people that you kind of know in the middle of the street, he'd be like, wow, that's the worst thing I could imagine. And I'd be like, you're right. It's even worse than the plague that took over the world.
Remember that thing that killed 180,000 people in the United States? The only thing worse than that is Tom wasting 7 minutes behind a car, waiting for a girl he kind of knows to jump out. It's a good time.
I like how during all this you sat, you reflected on yourself, you reflected on your life and all the choices you've made, and you said, I'm still going to go with the Reiki healers.
They're drawn to me, Rich. They're drawn to me.
No, trash is drawn to you because you look like trash.
I don't look.
You
I
look
great.
like you play softball in an all dirt field on Saturdays.
I
That's,
look like
that's
a
your
lesbian.
aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm a lesbian. That's what you're trying to say.
You look like you still bring your baseball mitt to the game. You're like, oh, we're going to the Yankees. Let me grab my mitt.
And I'd catch it. If anyone had a chance to catch a ball in the stands, I've never brought. I have this fantasy that I'm at the game and I catch the ball with my bare hand. Do you ever have that fantasy?
No.
You're like with like a new girlfriend or something.
Right.
And you're just sitting there and everyone's standing up and you're like, oh, got it. You don't have that fantasy? Just with your bare hand?
Is your fantasy you catch it and then she's like, oh my God. And then someone on the field goes, wait, didn't you play at Duke?
Shouldn't you be on this field right now? Give that guy a bat and get him in the lineup.
And then you're like, I can't. I have no labrum in my hip,
Yeah,
and
my
I'm
hip's
stretching.
not-
I'm doing the stretching. I'm trying to run, but it's not going well.
More prehab than post, surgery kind of stuff. But I didn't give the whole rundown. That's my fantasy.
Yeah, and then Robinson Cano knows your whole medical history.
Yeah. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is like, okay, yeah, it's too much. That's too much. He doesn't speak English. That's for sure.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. might.
You think?
Where'd he grow up?
He probably grew up in the United States. Dominican Republic.
I don't know. We're gonna have to look into that. I would assume Toronto, or not. Call us in.
Someone call in.
Someone call in.
One of our readers.
One of our readers call.
Someone who's reading the transcript of this podcast. Type it to Rich right now.
Let me tell you what your look is. Your look is that you're trying to manage OnlyFans girls. That's your look.
That's what I'm working towards.
Because you're 30 years old and you're wearing your hat backwards.
I feel great, Rich. Have I told you that you remind me of every single middle school football coach?
And that's the school I went to.
That's the school.
That's the college I went to. All 4 of my middle school football coaches went to Cortland, and that's how I heard of it.
The creme de la creme of New York public school gym coaches.
And then I ran into the head coach like 4 years ago at a bar out east, and he was hammered. Yeah. And I was like, this is what I think you people do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I looked up to those guys, and I see them now doing the same thing, and I'm like, is that the life? Is that
and
what
they're
you want
so
to do?
happy.
They are so happy.
A lot of people that listen to this actually have that lifestyle, so they're going to be offended, but they're so happy.
They are very happy. That's not
even a joke.
I haven't felt happy since I was maybe 7 when I got a N64. I think that was the last time I was happy.
I had a pretty good rack of ribs in 2007. That was the last time I was like, I'm feeling pretty good.
Chasing the golden unicorn.
I'm still trying to find those ribs from 2007. If you remember, call in.
Definitely Applebee's. Applebee's ribs that were frozen in the microwave in the back.
I used to, so we would go to Applebee's so much that they would mail us these like drawing things to do, like color in. And it'd just be like it's like a coloring book picture. And if I brought it in, I would get a free sundae. And if you don't think I went door to door collecting those pictures,
you're fatter and sadder than you make yourself out to be.
Yeah, but I was very entrepreneurial.
You were. You have to be aggressive and to be that fat.
Yeah.
You have to be like really determined, which you are, and
right.
It shows to this day. You've taken all of that energy from trying to get food into your stupid fat face as a kid and turned it to comedy, and it's a beautiful thing.
And it's not working as well as it did with my BMI. I'll tell you that much.
If you were as successful now as you were fat then, you'd have 17 Netflix specials by now.
I'd host every late night show.
You would be Jimmy Fallon. You were the Jimmy Fallon of fat kids.
Right. I wasn't really good, but you were like, no, just keep him around. He's likable.
You bring people onto your fat kid talk show.
Just have other fat kids on.
One day I hope to be like you, Rich. Well, you keep being fat and shoving stupid shit in your face. You'll figure it out.
What was I going to say? I had something there with the fat kids. Nah, I lost it.
I said if you were as successful as you were, I don't even remember. Somebody play it back.
Someone play it back.
Someone play it back for us.
Call in, email
also,
us.
It looks like I'm wearing underwear on this. My shorts are really short, huh? Look at these thighs.
Right.
Just in here.
It looks like you just came from working your Mr. Softy route.
Mr. Softy is...
that's what that girl in Sunset Park calls you.
I could never get hard, and I got nothing.
What ethnicity was she?
Sunset Park girl.
Sunset Park
Super
girl.
white. Like
Yeah, but like not a white neighborhood.
Like Maine.
Oh.
She was one of those like granola crunchy
Well, yeah, she's a fucking Reiki healer.
Maine girls. Yeah, Reiki healer. What else was her deal? Yeah, she was also into the crystals. Oh, and the sage.
The sage, that's what I was thinking of that
Saging
she
the
was
apartment.
into. And then for a
Into that.
while, like, you were into sage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
I still think it's nice to live in a place that smells nice.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Sage is a weird smell to me. It's a very cultish smell.
Yeah. I mean, it's good in like certain meats. You know what I mean? Like put it on like a lamb.
Of course you would put it on a lamb.
Put it on a
you
lamb.
Greek fuck.
The only reason I came here was to work this conversation to the point where we were talking about lamb. That's all I wanted to do. Just full circle.
Can I ask you a question? And this is a Greek question. I don't know if this is how Greeks work.
Sure.
I assume Greeks will live forever. Greeks keep living
Right.
until when they're born, their father puts a lamb on a spigot and they just keep rotating it. And that Greek person lives until the lamb is done. Am I correct?
You're thinking about this like some kind of hourglass situation.
It's a very similar to
Like
an hourglass
like
situation.
the hourglass of time, but for the Greek, it's the lamb on the spit.
Right.
When the lamb is done, the life is over.
Correct.
Is that a fair assessment? Yeah, that's how it works. I have an uncle who's doing that right now. He's on his last legs. When that lamb's done, we're going to shoot him in the head. We're going to take him out and we're going to blow his brains out.
It's the circle of life. That's it.
I've never done that. The lamb on
Oh,
the
you
spit.
never done? Even I've done that.
Have you?
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
Where?
Greek house. Yeah.
You didn't set it up, though.
I didn't say it. No, I was a fat kid, but I ate a lot of it.
That's great.
It was amazing.
I did a smoked lamb shoulder this summer.
You told me about
I think
it
I told you about that.
because I made a pulled pork at the same time.
That's right.
That's what, and we had a whole conversation about this.
Smoking meats and putting things up our butt. The two things that Rich and I love to do the most.
And
We'll call each other.
we call each other during both of those times. That's why we talk every day.
You can
And if
multitask too. You could do them both at the same time.
Right. No one wants it enough. That's the problem.
You can even take what you cook and put it up your butt.
You could do it. It doesn't taste as good.
Speak for yourself.
So the only girl that you've dated during this whole thing is
No, I'm kind of seeing a gal.
You're
No.
seeing a gal, Tom.
Yeah.
City gal.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm honestly terrified that she's going to listen to this entire episode.
No, there's no shot because you're gonna dump her by the time I put this up.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
What's the story with her?
She's a sweetheart. She's great. She's a sweetie.
Good job.
Smart.
Good job.
Good job. Very smart.
Because I can't tell.
That wants nothing to do with Reiki healing.
Sage?
No sage.
No Reiki, no sage.
No Reiki, no sage. She's a straight shooter. She's smart.
And so I know it's not going to last.
Because the only thing that I can do is go out with Reiki
With
healing.
trash.
With trashy Reiki
You
healers.
can't have someone even close to your caliber. You need someone so below you to ruin your bloodline.
Just like all my friends. Just trash.
Oh, your friends are very successful. Well, not your comedy friends. You have awful taste in comedy friends.
Comedy
I'm one
friends
of them.
Comedy friends, just complete losers.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Remember when we had your birthday at a dive bar in the East Village?
Oh, yeah.
And then your friend brought fucking cannolis?
Oh, yeah, that was so nice.
It was they were one of the best cannolis I've ever had.
That was from Venero's, I think. The place that we went to with Hardy.
Oh, was that where that was from?
And Ilya, where we were talking about the sketch where it was
Yeah.
The poetry agent or the book agent. Right. You got to change one. We love the book. We got to change. It just can't be. Why does the name of the main character have to be Sally McCuntswith? Right. That whole thing.
Anything but that.
We wrote that.
You wrote that into a sketch?
Ilya and I wrote that. I mean, Ilya did most of it, I think, but we were going to make it.
Well, he's got the time.
He's got a lot of time.
He's got a lot of time now.
But yeah, that was a birthday party where a lot of my friends from home came, and they brought like the right things to bring to a party in a shit place.
Yeah, you brought your real white collar friends, and gorgeous people, might I add.
People say this.
Yeah, they're very good looking people to the cheapest bar in New York City, as it's advertised, and meet these degenerate scumbags we're friends with. Ilya, who's a attorney but tweets hate speech all day and makes jokes about child rape
And doesn't think he's pushing the envelope at all.
and doesn't think, and he thinks he could say these jokes in a park at 6 p.m. And you're like, oh, you don't like him? How about my friend Matt Hardy, who's a nocturnal freelance lawyer? A nocturnal freelance lawyer.
Freelance lawyer.
No one's ever done that.
Freelance lawyer makes me so happy because it's like, hey, we couldn't get you a real lawyer. I know you're in a tough spot here, but the guy he's freelance. I'd be like, I am going to jail. I'm definitely going to jail if I see Hardy walk in.
If someone told me, okay, I got you a lawyer, he's a freelance lawyer, I'd be like, okay. Does he at least have furniture in his apartment?
Are all of his books on the floor?
Is the only furniture books? And you'd be like, unfortunately, yes.
When he wants to read a book, he has to disassemble a chair that is made entirely out of books.
Right. And then, oh my God, and then he worked for a software company.
Thomson Reuters.
I didn't know if we could say the name, but yeah, sure. I don't care. I don't have an NDA with him.
No.
Thomson Reuters, and he didn't sell a single thing for 6 months.
He's a hero. He really is.
He's one of my inspirations.
We're going camping this weekend. Him and I.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you guys going?
Upstate, Catskills.
Where at?
I don't know, like 2 hour Echo Lake.
Yeah.
You know it?
Echo Lake, isn't that like kind of on the border of Jersey and New York?
I'm not sure.
I think
you can
it
like
is.
hike like into the back country area. and
He
get
might
some,
not
like,
come
room.
back.
He probably won't. He'll just live out there. He'll go to He'll build a cabin. By
He
the
will
time-
build a cabin out of books.
in 2 days. Out of books. I was like, where'd you get all these fucking books? Packed them.
Pack the books.
I read them all too. 2 days, read 5,000 books.
Wait, I thought he's in Ohio.
He just got back.
Why are we talking about
Yeah,
Hardy on this? No one gives a shit.
No one cares, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. People.
He'll
could
be on
really-
here at some point,
He will be on here at some point.
and you could reference back.
He might have to be my next guest.
He'd be great on here.
Who's going on this camping trip? Just you two?
Buddy from home.
You're intermingling comedy and home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild move.
It's a wild move. We're gonna see how it goes. Well, I couldn't trust comedians to actually hold their weight in a camping situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to do all the work.
Right.
I thought about doing it with like a whole.
Yeah, you pitched the idea to me.
And Hardy's been on me to do some outdoor stuff. So I figure
What does that mean?
he wants to like go hiking and he wants to go camping and shit this summer. Like we're
Oh.
gonna go up to Maine and do a thing. This is as close as I could get.
Are you going to go up to do a show in Canada in a car with podcast equipment? And then when the Mounties stop you and ask what that equipment's for, tell them, don't worry about it?
It's for a show that we're going to, and they were like, "Why do you have all this equipment?" So the story for the readers at home,
Right.
I had a show up in Toronto with our friend Matt Hardy, and we got stopped at the border, and they asked us what we were doing, and I said going to a comedy show. Just kept it real vague, and they pulled us over, and went through all of our bags and stuff, and found my recorder because I was going to record the set, and they were like, "Are you producing this show? If so, like, or making money for this, you have to like fucking
Right.
pay money." And I lied, and they caught me, and they let me off with a warning. But
And you would think, okay, if I lie, at least I have a freelance lawyer next to me to get me out of this.
that is the fucking worst part about it. He didn't advise me for a second. Just don't lie, because what he could have said. He could have said anything. He said nothing.
I don't know if this is how law works, but could he get into the middle of it and be like, sir, this is my client. Can we
Hey.
please have a recess quick
Hey.
to talk about our defense?
That's good.
Can you do a mid-conversation recess?
You know what he actually did? He had a gavel, and he said, "Order in the court." In the
He's a
middle.
freelance judge, too.
Freelance judge. And he took out a Bible, and he made the guy put his hand on it and said, "Do you swear?" That whole thing. And he said, "This isn't a courtroom. This is the border of Buffalo and
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls." Yeah, that was a good trip. That was a long drive. I don't know why driving was the move. You didn't go up there though.
Didn't go up there. Was supposed to go up in March, and then
happened?
then the world happened. Goddamn COVID.
Goddamn.
People are like, yeah, my dad was on his deathbed. I couldn't go see him. It was the worst part of my life. I was like, yeah, I lost $80 when I could have traveled 16 hours round trip to bumfuck
Yeah.
the outskirts of Toronto.
If they said you're gonna have to travel you're gonna have to travel 16 hours to make $80, you'd say that is a bad hourly wage. That
Right.
is maybe the worst hourly wage.
And I would have said, where do I sign? And I
do
will
it.
do that right with you.
It's a hot room in front of a crowd of people. I'm there because I need the stage time.
What was I going to say? And now so how's the, I don't care. I was going to say, how's the stage time been? But I really don't care how people's stage time been since then.
Well, I'm doing the mics and starting to produce a show probably sometime soon. But by the time it happens,
It's going to
it'll
be
too
cold.
cold.
Right.
I think I'm going to go down south for a while. I think that's the move.
And it's a good move. You're month to month.
I'm not. Tobin's month to month.
Tobin's month to month.
Yeah, he's thinking about doing the same thing.
Yeah. I'm here till April. So what are you going to do?
And then you're going to get you called me with a very urgent call yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about it after we record.
Oh, okay. Very urgent that you figured out everything.
I think I figured it out.
You figured out all the how the entire economy works, how we can save the economy.
No, just stand up.
Just the stand-up economy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear it at some point.
We'll get there. We'll get there, Tom. We'll finish off with this.
What do you got?
Prediction. When do we see a normal semblance of life?
Next summer.
Yep, that's what I think.
Next summer.
Next July.
July.
That's my prediction.
I'm gonna say August of next year.
You're going August of next year.
I think they're gonna give a shitty coronavirus out. It's gonna scare people because it's not gonna go right.
They're going to give it out?
You know what I mean? They're gonna
The
manufacture
virus?
Sorry,
vaccine.
The vaccine. They're gonna give a shitty vaccine out. They're gonna put a shitty vaccine out. It's not gonna work. It's gonna scare the shit out of people. It's gonna destroy the confidence of the country
Right.
in our in the CDC and FDA. And then it's going to take a bit of time to rebuild that confidence, and then by that time, a good one will have come out by then. That's my prediction.
Well, I don't think you're wrong. Once Google said no one's coming back till July, I was like,
But
that's
a business decision.
yeah. But if Google wants to control all of us, so they definitely want to control all of our workers, all of their workers, I should say.
But they could do that from home.
Are they that good?
Yeah. I mean, IBM's been working from home for 10 years.
You don't think you're going back?
I'm not. They told us we're shutting down the office until the spring.
Yeah.
So it's they're in lockstep with all the other tech companies.
But then how are you going to meet girls in the coffee shop downstairs, not get their numbers, and then years later end up reconnecting on on an app?
You know my dating history better than I do.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the Taiwanese girl. And if she's listening to this, I'm so sorry that I forgot about
You forgot about the Taiwanese girl after she put her dead grandfather's bones in a temple. I'll never forget that. The last thing I'll say on my deathbed, people surrounding me, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, I'll be like, that greaseball fuck Luciano dated that Thai girl.
And he's surprised that he got coronavirus. He's lucky he didn't get SARS while he was at it.
That's funny. All right, we'll end it on that. Tom, where can the people reach you?
Find me Twitter, Instagram.
Are you still doing a lot of the tweets?
Not so much recently.
Yeah,
but
you kind of...
Not Tom Luciano.
Is that what your name is?
My handle is not Tom Luciano.
And you have a very good profile picture.
Thank you. I get a lot of compliments on that.
It's a very good profile picture, but then your work profile picture is god awful because you had those ugly fucking glasses.
My work profile picture?
Yeah,
LinkedIn?
You're on your badge for work.
Oh. Yeah. That's back when I had a big beard.
Oh my god,
And
that's when I
glasses.
met you.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god, you were disgusting.
Yeah. That beard was great though. That was a big beard. It's a good beard, strong beard.
Do you remember when I first met you? It was probably like first month or two I've known you. We were going to do a mic. And you were there in a full suit at the mic,
yeah.
and you're standing there, and I go wearing a suit, and you're like, "Yeah, I just came back from a funeral. My uncle died."
Yeah.
And what did I say?
Gay.
Yeah, I called you gay.
Gay. Yeah. I remember that set. I riffed on
You remember the set.
I remember the set. I remember
You remember what set you did after I called you gay for the first time, but you don't remember
most of the girls
Thai girl that had COVID and gave you COVID.
Yeah. I don't. I put more. That's what it says about my life.
All right.
Comedy's more important than date. Rich, if you want to find out about my dating history, just talk to Rich.
Yeah, I could tell you the whole story right here.
It's a
all
good
right.
intro.
Tom, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Wear longer pants next time.
Nope.
All right. Adios.